Hey, welcome to the shot of the day. Let's talk a little Kansas City Chiefs football. The Chiefs, first ever game in Arrowhead on a Saturday night. Bay City roll over the San Diego LA homeless Chargers. A little SATURDAY night. Saturday night is made for fighting. Chiefs showed up for a fight and delivered, and they should have delivered. That's what good teams should do. You're at home on Neon Dion night, prime time, at home at Arrowhead. You should, in a must-win situation, win that game. That's what the Chiefs should do if they're a good team. It was a good win. I mean, I saw some flaws in it. I'll take the win. They're in control of their own destiny once again. They're atop the AFC West. Their magic number is 1. Hopefully they don't do a number 2. But I think they can beat the Dolphins. If not, definitely beat the Denver Broncos, who will be mailing it in that week. But let's look at the game. Like I said, the Chiefs did what they needed to do. There were some flaws. And the Chargers did what we needed them to do. As I said last week, Phillip Rivers was due, 2-3 games a year. He implodes like that. He does a Chiefs defensive implode 2 to 3 times a year. He'll do that, and he delivered for us Saturday night with his picks. Because once he throws one, I mean, come on. It's like his kids. Once he has one, he has like 8 more in a week. Just like with his interceptions. Once he has one, there he goes. And it's that funky throwing motion, which I think is starting to catch up with him. And I think it's what he also uses to put on a condom, which probably why it never gets on his unit, and he has so many freaking kids. Just saying. And Phillip Rivers, pretty sure he's homeless at this point, just like his team. They don't have a home in San Diego. They don't really have one in LA. They're in a soccer stadium. That's not an NFL home. He's home. He walks around like a homeless dude, chattering to himself. He's constantly talking to himself, just babbling, or just spontaneously yelling at strangers, other team, just walking, just... He just constantly, he's gone full homeless. He has gone full homeless, and he's always been a bit of a bitch box. I mean, dude probably could get busted for PEDs if Midol was considered a PED. Just saying. Phillip Cry Me a Rivers, had a lot to cry about. Probably had 4 more kids after the game. Dude is the Danny Ainge of the NFL. If he's on your team, you probably love him. If not, everybody hates him. Is he a Hall of Famer? Who knows? Maybe. He's got talent. You got to respect that. I don't respect his mouth. Dude should go into waste management after his NFL career because all he does is talk trash, and a lot of times for absolutely no reason. Is he a good quarterback? Yeah, the Chargers are a good team. Did we get a little lucky? Yeah. Phillip Rivers does that. Did we cause it? Yeah, some. But once you get Phillip Rivers to throw one, like 3 are to follow. Like I said, just as like his wife giving birth, you get, once the floodgates open, once you pull the goalie, boom, it's over. Marcus Peters, great comeback, but a lot of that goes to the defensive line. Like I said before, you have a good defensive line, a pass rush, you can make average corners look good. This allowed Marcus Peters, to bullhawk like he did, because he sure as hell didn't tackle. I mean, come on now. Dude didn't tackle the whole game, except I think he tackled Travis Benjamin, the smallest dude on the field. But the Chargers did what we needed them to do for us. We played good. We didn't tackle a lot. We gave up a lot of yards on defense. We rely strictly on the turnover, and that happens a lot at home. We wouldn't get away with that on the road necessarily. Our defense really doesn't stop anybody. Look at Melvin Gordon's numbers. I mean, Peters did a good job on Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen does what he does against the Chiefs. Eventually gets hurt. Hunter Henry got hurt. That helped us. Thank God Tamba Hali didn't train Bosa before the game. What the hell was that all about? Tamba, love you. I know you're not going to be with the Chiefs next year, but don't start training our opponents your techniques. Come on now. I mean, unless he's throwing you a little cash on the side, because I know you've been inactive a lot this year, but seriously, that bugged me. Marcus Peters. Everyone's like, oh, he's all this, he's all that. Yeah, he's a great ball hawk, and he's a great cover, but he won't tackle, all right? And a lot of the Chiefs won't tackle. I mean, our defense scared me. Derek Johnson cannot move side to side anymore. He got outrun by Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates got that touchdown in the end zone. I mean, if Antonio Gates, the oldest man in the NFL, is outrunning DJ, who may be the second oldest guy in the NFL, you got a problem. And I don't mean to be negative here. We got to win. We're going to the playoffs. We'll probably have a home game against Tennessee, Buffalo, Baltimore. I'd be scared of Baltimore. I'm scared of all those teams. But it seems that the home field advantage is back, and the Chiefs got the magic at home. Could they do that on the road? No. Are they going to force Roethlisberger or, Brady to throw 3 INTs, force 4 turnovers? Probably not on the road. That's not going to happen. Then you got to look at our slow defense that can't run. But Chris Jones, our defensive line, stepped up, made our other guys look good. Bob Sutton called some good games with some safety blitzes. You got to give him credit. Play calling was good. First half, the good news, if you look at the Chiefs won all 4 quarters. Even when they played bad in the first half, they still won all 4 quarters, even though the Chargers led for a little bit. But, into the first half, Alex Smith couldn't run a 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, which is worrisome. Travis Kelce had some problems, once again in the red zone, dropping balls. Special teams, bad communication. It's like if you don't have Sprint and KC, it's some bad communication. Just saying. I like Verizon. I digress. You may be wondering why I'm not doing a shot. Well, I'm in a car driving. I don't live in frickin' Louisiana, hanging out at a daiquiri hut at, noon. All right? Illegal. I'll have one later. I tried to have one earlier, but I asked Philip Rivers to pass me a bottle of tequila. Boom. It was intercepted. No shot for me. My liver thanks you, Philip Rivers, for your crappy game. Chiefs, like I said, look good. Demetrius Harris played good on special teams, but why we throw him the ball scares the shit out of me. He should never be thrown the ball. Albert Wilson, I'm calling him sex machine because he's the hardest working man in the NFL. He is a sex machine. Sex machine. Sex machine. He is there. He delivers. He is the hardest working man on the Chiefs. I used to rip on Albert Wilson. New respect. Alex Smith did good. When he ran the ball, dude had some moves. Literally broke a guy's ankle. Props to Alex Smith for that. And he threw, he almost out threw the cheetah. Who would have thought that? Alex Smith almost overthrew Tyreek Hill. Come on now. Is he Tyreek over the hill? No. He's not Antonio Gates running. That should have been a touchdown celebration. It actually looked like a sack race between Antonio Gates and Derek Johnson. They were both moving so slow, it was like a potato sack race. And you did have to love the NASCAR-themed cheetah. I think the end zone celebrations, people are putting way too much thought in that and maybe not studying the playbook. But that was classic. I like the Tyreek Hill NASCAR, pit stop, touchdown celebration. Like I said, you got to be excited about this, but can we get that excited? Is that going to... You still have to get by. And you look at the game last night, Brady, Roethlisberger, the Chiefs would need some luck like that. A catch isn't a catch, like what I think it was Kareem Hunt. That was a catch, the Kareem Hunt. But that also shows you a problem with Alex Smith. Alex Smith, when he rolls out, he cannot throw an accurate ball. That happened a number of times. When he rolls out, he either ducks his head, runs, misses Kelce open down the field or somebody, or when he rolled out Saturday night, he is not accurate at all. That should have been an easy pass, touchdown to Hunt. I believe it was a touchdown. I think that rule needs to be changed. There was bad refereeing, both sides of the ball, all throughout the NFL, this weekend. So you can't blame the refs, but there was just some nonsense. But once again, it's Alex Smith. Why make it hard on yourself? That was an easy toss to Kareem Hunt. He didn't have to, do a 180 and use his fingertips and trim the grass a little bit there. That was ridiculous. Didn't need to happen. You need more accurate play out of Alex Smith when he rolls out. Lately, when he rolls out, no accuracy, and that worries me because our offensive line, had some penalties. It can be shaky. They did a pretty good job, though, against Bosa, Ingram, held them up so it didn't make Hayward as effective down the field. Obviously, he got burned by Tyreek Hill, which is impressive. That whole play was impressive. Like to see more of that out of Alex Smith. Will he do it? I don't know. He's like good for one a game, and he's like, oh, I hit my limit. That's it. 2-drink minimum right there. But it was a win. A win's a win. We're in control. will the Chiefs disappoint you in the postseason? Most likely. I see a one home playoff win, then go on the road. I don't see how you beat Jacksonville, that defense, because Alex Smith is going to be running for his life, and that means he'll either get hurt against that Jacksonville D, or his inaccurate passing on the rollout will cause an INT. He'll go Philip Crimea Rivers right there, the Hep C King Crimea Rivers. But let's worry about that when we get there. And obviously, the Patriots and Steelers are a whole different ballgame, and I just don't see how you beat them on the road. I really don't. Luck is always involved in the playoffs, and maybe the Chiefs are due some luck after some, crappy mid-year play. Maybe it happens. I hate to be a pessimist. I hope it happens. I mean, people criticize me. I hope it happens, but I got to look at it realistically. The Patriots, even though their secondary yesterday looked like they took tackling lessons from Marcus Peters, and I hate to rip on Marcus Peters, but he scares me because I think he's mentally unstable. He'll cost you a game either that way, or when he gets an interception, carrying that ball like a freaking loaf of bread all over the place. He's going to do that one too many times. He's going to have an interception in a crucial situation, which could turn the tide of the game, and he's taking it back for a pick six, and someone punches it out and kills the momentum. That's what I foresee. I'm being a negative Nelly, but woo dilly. That's all I got to say on the Marcus Peters hype. I still think we trade him in the offseason. And we have to move Smith as well, clear some cap space that Dorsey is still screwed up, and maybe package them both to Cleveland now since Dorsey's there. But, maybe we win Miami, which we should be able to do. But that Miami D stumped Brady, and, if you can stump Brady, it's not too far of a stretch. You're going to stump, Alex Smith even at home. And is it a letdown after this big win? Chiefs do, at the absolutely last moment, do show up. And like I said, for the first time all year, even though the defense gave up a lot of yards to Melvin Gordon and Phillip Rivers, had a decent game before the interception, the defense relies on turnover. Our defense doesn't get a turnover, they're not stopping anybody because we're giving up a lot of yards. I mean, Melvin Gordon had a good day, and that could have turned ugly. Tyrell Williams dropped, a long ball, and, they missed a couple times to Williams. Rivers did, and normally that doesn't happen. Like I said, there was some luck involved, and there's a pattern there, and he was due. Phillip Rivers hadn't imploded in 7 games. He was due that implosion, and we got it. Coming up to Dolphins, I mean, our defense should get some more confidence at home. We should be able to do the same thing against Cutler, who loves to throw interceptions more consistently than Phillip Rivers. So we should be able to have that same type of performance. Will Kenyon Drake get his? Yes. Will Kenny Stills get his? Yes. But I think, even though their defense is tough, if Alex Smith will go beyond the 2-drink minimum, call a designated driver for the way home, and just start throwing them back fraternity style, do a freaking keg stand, and launch some more balls to the Cheetah, Kelsey. Get Demarcus Robinson involved in the game. You missed him a couple times. And get Sex Machine, Albert Wilson, the hardest working man in the NFL, the ball. Let me go to my notes and see if I missed anything. Or I should just keep rambling on. But, it helped. Like I said, Keenan Allen does what he do. We shut him down before that, but it helps that he hurts himself. We talked about homeless Rivers, the rollout. Bosa, come on, Tamba. Love you, Tamba. Maybe he was auditioning for a job for defensive, some sort of, defensive line coach for the Chargers, helping out Bosa, because he's probably not going to have a job next year. Neither should Derek Johnson. Love those guys. Just Phillip Rivers' throwing motion. And he's getting older, so I think that awkward throwing motion, especially when he gets pressure, God bless, Jones, because without the pressure up front, our secondary doesn't look that good, all right? And that's just, we have problems. Houston even got his name called, but, we're having to drop him back into pass coverage because Sorensen is a liability. But Murray showed up, and I'll give Sutton credit for adjusting there. Let's see. And Peter stripped the ball too. I mean, he's good at that. He likes to pick his spot. He's the guy outside a fight. 2 guys are fighting, and he'll just sit outside waiting for the opportunity to go sucker punch somebody. And that works. In football when you want to punch the ball out, that's okay. Not cool on the streets. Not cool. But Marcus Peters doesn't tackle. Like I said, I think freaking the Patriots secondary was looking at Peters' film. But he does get the turnover. And if you can get that pass rush, that's when it works. When we get that pass rush, Peters works as a ball hawk. Without, the pass rush, he ain't tackling anybody except the smallest guy on the field, maybe. And our rest of our secondary looks bad. Good pass rush makes average cornerbacks look great. Bad pass rush makes great cornerbacks look crappy. And that's just the reality. And the same with our offensive line, getting Kareem Hunt off. And that's what we got to do, especially in the playoffs. Got to keep, that dog can hunt. We got to keep him hunting. Yeah, Alex Smith, when he runs, I wish he was as aggressive passing the ball as he is when he runs. I don't understand the disconnect there. Dude is man's up when he runs. He's juking. He'll hit. He'll throw a block down. But he for some reason loses that aggressiveness about 75% of the time when he's in the pocket or when he rolls out. I don't get the disconnect. Maybe a sports psychologist could help with that. Let's see. Yeah, that 2-minute drill didn't, things like that. The little things like that are going to hurt us in, we had a big 4th down conversion, which that was the BDP. Who does get the BDP chain? I'm going to have to give the BDP once again to Sex Machine, because who else should have the BDP chain? Big Dick Player, other than Sex Machine. Albert Wilson, though there were a lot of good plays. They could pass the chain around. Chain gang! That's it. That's what we need to do, is a chain gang with the BDP chain. Special teams. There were some, Tyreek also caught one. We need to tighten up special teams a little more. And why the hell do we have kickoffs anymore is beyond me. Every kickoff and pretty much every punt return has a block in the back. And I guess you can't fix that because every team does it. They just have to eliminate the kickoff because there's a penalty every time. It's just a waste of time. You get excited, and it gets called back by a flag every time. Get rid of it. So it looks like, the Chiefs end up, 10-6, probably 9-7. It's just the way the Chiefs have been this year. Unpredictable, the whole NFL. Not to rip on the Chiefs, and I love the Chiefs. Don't get on me about my reality, but they beat a good team. The Chargers are a good team. Actually, probably a better team on paper, maybe, or at least even. But, you can find plus and minuses everywhere. But you did need to rely on, that wasn't a one-off or a unique occurrence, Phillip Rivers melting down. Like, you can make Phillip Rivers melt down. Once you get him to throw one interception, that's the key. Can you do that to Roethlisberger, Brady? No, probably not. Blake Bortles, maybe. Whoever's quarterbacking with the Bills, maybe. Mariota, maybe. You could make that happen, but it would have to happen at home. Once you go on the road, look at the numbers between home and road. That's going to be a problem. And because the Chiefs had that mid-season slump, cost them home field advantage, which means there's no way they can't, they get maybe one home playoff game, then they got on the road, which is a problem statistically, mentally, no home field advantage, and you're playing against elite quarterbacks where Alex Smith is good. He's good. He's not elite. And I think in this league nowadays, you have to have an elite quarterback like a Brady, like a Roethlisberger, like a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers to take that next step. That's just the way it is. You got to keep your head up and look down the field at all times and not go turtle and dip it or be accurate on the rollout. You got to do that. And there is risk reward that comes with that. And not to rip on Alex Smith, he's done us well. He's got us to this point. I predict we get one home playoff win, which will make people happy for a little bit. We'll get disappointed on the road, and then the conversations will start for next year. But being that it's the season of Christmas, and Santa brought a sack early to the Chiefs, they sacked up. He handed out everybody got a sack and a BDP chain, for the game on Saturday. Little Bay City rollover. SATURDAY. Night. We need more Saturday night games. It was Saturday Night Live minus, the crappy comedy after the first sketch. Just saying. Chiefs rocked it. I think they went out unless they win Sunday. They could easily lose to Miami. Miami's, that defense is good. Have they mailed it in? I don't know. But they should beat Miami. They could lose. If they beat Miami, I could see them going to Denver and resting everybody, which we should, because our defense is freaking old and they need a nap. Our defense would be great if they only had to play every other week. Let's just be real. It's old and it's broken down for the most part. So if we go to Denver and we do our, backups, rest a lot of people, you could lose that game. Which at the beginning of the year I said 9-7, maybe get into the playoffs. Looking that way, but our defense, don't get fooled by the turnovers, because you live and die by the turnovers. If they don't get those turnovers, they're not stopping people. Okay, that's just a reality. So, and to get those turnovers, they got a man up front. Chris Jones especially got dinged up a little bit. I was worried. Houston needs to, that's the problem with Barry being gone. They're dropping DJ, who can't go sideline to sideline anymore, and Houston into coverage because they got to make up for Sorensen. But Revis, maybe he's brought some leadership back there too and some heart. You got Albert Wilson, which I think could actually be the leader on the offensive side of the ball. I think Sex Machine could step up and be that leader that the offense has been looking for. Because, Alex Smith, does it by, he's calm. He's Aaron Rodgers light in the sense of he just relax, he does, sometimes he panics. Kelsey is more about his brand, which is fine. Trickle down to the rest of the team. Tyreek, the other guys are young. Albert Wilson's been around for a while, and he's the hardest working man there. He's Sex Machine. He should be the leader on offense. Maybe Revis brings that veteran leadership that for some reason Derek Johnson and Houston, I thought they could. I thought they would. I love them. Or Tamba Hali is not there every week. He seems to be providing more leadership to the other, the other team, helping Bosa out, who's an awesome player. Maybe we can get his brother out of Ohio State come the draft, because we do need to beef up our pass defense in a lot of areas. And offensive line, Eric Fisher, Mitch Morse is out for the year, which Fulton does okay at center. Prefer Morse, but Fulton does good. Does it leave us weak? The Canadian, I love him. My favorite snow Mexican, Inspector Clouseau, we'll call him. Got a little penalty, but he's our best one. Eric Fisher, going against Bosa and Ingram, they did a pretty good job. I'll give them credit, but as we get deeper in the playoffs, forcing Alex Smith to roll out and not protecting him will hurt us on the road. But I've babbled enough. I will enjoy this victory. Congratulations to the Chiefs Kingdom, who showed up big time. They primed that pump, and they delivered. They were the old school, not ready for primetime players. They were ready for primetime Saturday, live from Arrowhead. It's the Chiefs Kingdom, and it will continue on Christmas Eve. We'll all be waiting for the BDP chain that Santa will be bringing us. The first 50,000 people in the gate get a complimentary BDP, big dick player, BDP chain, and a Santa will drop in sacks. Everyone, a stocking stuffer, If you're going to stuff a stocking, you better do it with some real sack, is all I'm saying. Stuff that stocking with some sack. All right, Chiefs, do it again on Christmas Eve. We all have a Merry Christmas. I probably won't do a shot until after Christmas. So everybody out there in the Chiefs Kingdom, everybody in the NFL, stay safe. Merry Christmas. Hopefully it'll be a Happy New Year for the Chiefs. Have a good one. Hopefully, I'm going to go. Chiefs beat Miami 20-17. Not as exciting as this week, but a win's a win. We rest players going into Denver. We get to see a little Mahomie play. Get a little look into the future, and maybe that lights a fire. Maybe Mahomes goes big BDP at Mile High, because it's hard to be a BDP with lack of oxygen, because the blood flow, you go a little limp. But if you can get some oxygen, BDP and Mile High, and show them who the real stallion is there. Show those donkeys. And Mahomie has a big game with playing with, second string players and beats the Broncos. That'll scare the shit out of Alex Smith, and maybe, he makes a big run in the playoffs. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need to suspend a player every other week like Marcus Peters, and they get their head on straight, and it lights a fire under everybody's ass. I'm open to all of this because I do, deep down, love the Chiefs. It's just sometimes hard, to forget the past and look at the reality of some of the statistics and what's really going on. But love them, stick by them, hope they get it done. Merry Christmas. Love you guys.